Perfect. Okay, so welcome again, everyone. So glad to have you. So glad to be sharing this space with you. As I mentioned, my name is Leah Precious Thunder Warrior, working with the Babylon tradition. We are doing in the summer our Maku Magic series. So if you are a beginner, which it sounds like some people are kind of intermediate beginner, which is sort of the right place to be, I also welcome you to keep in touch because we will be doing sort of like a 2-month series, but we meet weekly to discuss kind of introductory magic through the Babylonian lens, how to work with the evil eye, how to work with really just everything, including the medicine of Babylon, which is exorcism. So medicine, sorcery, magic, you can call it what you want, but I was always, I guess, I learned it as medicine, but really call it as you please. It's often the same work as we were already discussing. So today is the first alchemical circle. And I was doing my best to kind of figure out, well, how can I really be the channel for alchemy? But I think what a lot of this is going to be is an understanding not only of basically manifestation, with a little bit of the meditative side of, that clearing of the mind, clearing of the aura, but also this opportunity to deal with kind of the wide array of what I feel is like my defining magic. So I'm really grateful for your presence here. This includes the work of Babylon and its conversation with ancient Egypt, as well as more modern forms of esoteric thought, modern witchcraft. You could call it like chaos magic as well, hermetics, not so much the Golden Dawn, though we may eventually touch on that, but kind of pulling in esoteric thought and its relation to the kind of first civilizations of the Middle East and of the Mediterranean, where I have my background, to really see kind of a fullness of how magic began and how magic continues to grow. And doing so as well, where we're doing the work of clarifying our own aura, clarifying our own spirit, being at one with ourselves, but also being at one with ourselves so that we can awaken our power and kind of make our intent and desires real in the physical and the three-dimensional. So I'm a Virgo. The only reason I bring that up today is because I thought, well, what better way to start with esoteric, with occult, with Babylon, than to start with Mercury, because it is Wednesday, it's Woden's day, right? Or just Odin's day. And I'm a Virgo, and for those who might have been at 222 last night when I was bringing in all the gods, I thought later, and I hadn't brought in Mercury, and I felt so bad because he's with me all the time. So it feels like relevant that we talk about Mercury today, because I think today is his platform. So we're going to be talking about Mercury in all his faces, my kind of divine understandings of working with Mercury as long as I have. And we're also going to talk a little bit about just one facet of the history of alchemy before we go into the meditation. And I'm still trying to be mindful of time here. So I'm going to do this at a pace because I'm more used to the 2-hour sessions. So scaling myself back is interesting. So with all this said, Mercury, of course, has many names across many traditions. In esoteric thought, we can often think of Mercury as Hermes Trismegistus, Megistus, I think is actually how it should be said, excuse me, Trismegistus. And Hermes Trismegistus he's kind of this legendary figure, but he's also actually a kind of syncretic combination of Hermes and Tahot or Thoth, the Egyptian god. It's actually pronounced Tahot, but I think colloquially in English, we can call him Thoth. I usually go between the two myself, and I feel like he's probably okay with that from my experiences with him. But what I also like about mercurial energy, beyond that, I like to think of it as I really honor, the path of the triple goddess and those who work with kind of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. But Mercury actually, throughout many traditions, also has that energy of the triple god. And that was kind of an insight that came to me that has stuck with me, that I feel called to just talk about any chance I get. So this is my own channel more, but there's Hermes Trismegistus, which is the Hermetic principle, and which we'll be talking about more in a moment. But there's also kind of this triple god energy to Mercury, because he is Hermes. He's sort of the young man. He's kind of the youth, right? He's the one who is a herald for the gods, a messenger, but he's also, he's never really considered aged. He's always this young figure. And then we have Tahot, the ancient Egyptian, who is the young man, the sort of the adult man, right? He's someone who is an authority. For those who are unfamiliar, this is the ibis headed god. He's got that big bird head, kind of like a plague doctor. And he is the face of magic in ancient Egypt. He is the face of literally alchemy. And he's also the face of part of the process of psychopomp, or allowing the dead to move on, because he's the judge of the dead. Hermes in the Greek pantheon, similarly, is the psychopomp, in that he leads the dead into the underworld. And then finally, as the old man figure, perhaps the hermit, you might say, instead of the crone, we see Enki in the Sumerian tradition, as well as Odin in the Norse tradition. And Enki and Odin, very similar in energy, though they hold different wisdoms. Enki is more about the waters and creation, whereas Odin is much more about victory and battle, as well as writing. And they all kind of share writing and language as part of their power, among their many things. And we'll talk about this in the meditation, but all these faces kind of create this triple god figure who has become associated with death and rebirth, liminal space, but also with transformation, and specifically with alchemy. And so that is why it feels relevant to call this energy to us today, to kind of get our feet wet with figuring out how to create and manifest our desires. So that is sort of the first step and the first focus of today's meditation, today's work. And the second, there's about 3 in total, is thinking about Mercury in terms of alchemy, in terms of the chemical compound, which is actually considered one of the 3 principal substances of alchemy, along with salt and sulfur. Mercury is considered to be quicksilver. It's a silver liquid, and is basically known as quicksilver because it's one of the very few metals that can be liquid at room temperature and can easily be shaped by outside forces. So it's really, it allows for sort of magic and energy to run through it. And because of that, it's also associated with the moon and femininity, which I feel like all of the gods that we're talking about are not necessarily gender conformist. So this kind of ability of moving through, femininity and gender in certain ways, or especially through the feminine principle, are all definitely relevant. And it's also considered a very creative as well as destructive force, because many, including in Chinese alchemy, considered it to be a destructive force. Of course, it's poison. Please don't consume mercury. But if you do, it gives you, apparently it would give them these insane visions. And then right before they died, they believed they were passing into another realm. So again, please don't do that. If I can impress anything upon you, please don't drink mercury. But it can be used in an alchemical way, and can be created. It's considered part of the process of, if we just get it right, finding the elixir of life. The truth is, I'm not so sure about that, but I do believe in potion making, and that is something that we might discuss at a further time. So Mercury is literally connected as a compound, a chemical compound, to the planet Mercury. They carry the same symbol often, and kind of work with that sort of gentle moon-like energy. And as all of these beings are kind of psychopomps, this is also considered a liquid, a water of transcendence, and of transcendence of life and death. So these qualities of shifting and changing that are kind of fundamental to alchemy can often be attributed and connected to Mercury. Especially since alchemy is in many ways a mystical teaching and magical technique for true creation, a focus into a true creation of something new. And so that's really what we're going to be working on today, is focusing on something new for ourselves, bringing in the energies that we've discussed into our mind space, into our body mind, and through that, working on kind of focusing like modern chaos magic, as well as Hermeticism, in which, the tenets of both of these are kind of the meta belief that mind and focus in the mind is the tool for achieving any effect that you want. Belief for chaos magicians is the tool to success and achievement, and the channeling of success and achievement in what we desire. And in Hermetics, which really are the followers of this syncretic being of literally Hermes and Tahut, the first principle, I should say, posits that all is mind and the universe is in the mental, and that's in the Kabbalion. So the idea that we can manifest starts first in the mind. And I feel that with that, we will also be welcoming in the word because of Mercury, but that kind of ability to create within our mind the word that we desire is how we can welcome manifestation. So that's really all that we are working on today. It's a shorter session. We'll end at 8 o'clock. So I think that unless there are any questions, which you can put in the chat, I think we're good to turn the music on for the first meditation, which will be about, 20-minute meditation, just kind of working with these principles, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Perfect. What's the relation of any of this to Babylon? We will also be working with Nabu and Enki today. And this specifically is also working more with ancient Egypt. But the manifestation and hermetics are all based on the alchemy of ancient Egypt and Babylon. Alchemy as well. We'll discuss at the end, perhaps. It's a long answer to that question, but it's all part of the same face, is the short answer. No, Babylon is different from Sumer. They are two separate empires. Sumerians are older, and in southern Iraq, Babylonians are in a different place in Iraq. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So let us go ahead and get started. You can sit down or you can lay down, whichever you feel comfortable, and just allow your eyes to close and just bring a bit of a peaceful awareness to this moment. Beginning now with a clarity and clarifying of self, we are noticing this moment passing, this time passing. And moving into a more mystical frame of mind. Taking some time to release the day, release the past, release any people who bothered us, releasing internal monologues, releasing all outside forces and pressure on our elemental structure and makeup within. As we are doing so, we are welcoming a bit of compassion to past moments, rewriting our narrative, bringing ourselves back into unified self so that we may become the alchemists that we need today in this moment. Feeling an opening of our third eye, as we are welcoming our own power into the spirit, into the body mind. And through this inner focusing, we are welcoming in a peace with our power, perhaps even an excitement to our power, focusing in on heart space, hand space, text, neck, throat, back of the head, with everything opening, 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 allowing our portals to open so that the power within may become revealed. And we are reigniting our elements within, our fire, our water, our air, and our earth. as we are sinking into clear mind, empowered self, liberated ability to be free of all things, awareness of all magic contained within self-structure. And allowing a final activation up and down our spine. We fully arrive now as beings of alchemical wisdom. We call to us now, in this place, the power of Mercury, of the many deities. We are given winged heels that allow us to astral travel up and out of this room into the astral planes. And as we are taking this travel, we are preparing to meet that which will develop us solely for our sorcery, for the activation of our wisdom, and the opening of our heart mind. Through the clouds we fly until we find ourselves setting down on a holy land. Fly as long as you need to, but when you are ready, we move into the realm of dream, the realm of the higher dimensions. And we take in this place created solely for us. You may see before you now a temple of your alchemical wisdom. And it may be a pyramid or a ziggurat or a church or a mosque. It may be an ancient hut. It may simply be the outdoors. But it is a holy space for your returning to your magic today. Take in everything on this structure that you need. As you see now, the gates being opened by the many faces and names of Mercury, inviting you in, calling to you. Mercury in his great many forms. There is Enki, there is Nabu, there is Odin, there is Hermes, there is Tehot, there may even be for you the Archangel Gabriel. And here there is as well the triple God, the boy, the man, and the hermit. Through their call, they are welcoming you now into this temple. So glad for your arrival. So glad for your ability to be joined to your greatest and highest wisdom for your benefit, for your creation of the new paradigm. You are welcomed and invited to sit at the center of this holy place, this holy temple, where there is a chamber of lightning for you. And in this central chamber is a throne with all interiors of the temple appearing to be only a witnessing, a surrounding to this center made for you, for your achievement of greatness. And so, welcome. You may sit down and take this place that is rightfully yours, allowing yourself for a moment to just feel yourself in your foundation, in your magical temple, in your alchemical throne of pure creation, and all that it means to you. And now surrounding you are these faces of Mercury, the great bearded Enki, the great bearded Nabu, and Odin, each one now holding their hand out and offering you energetic support that radiates into your heart space and is a healer, a welcomer of love, as well as the plugging in of a cord to ignite you. First, beginning with Enki, Lord of the Sumerians, the first peoples, the black-headed peoples of the Great River Valley, patron of Eridu, keeper of the divine powers of all natural offices of civilization in the heavens, the great scribe, king of writing, king of waters, bringer of the great flood. He offers you his energetic support. I'm calling in now Nabu, son of Marduk, prophet, father of literacy and of scribes, art and wisdom, offering you your energetic support. Calling in the All-Father Odin on Woden's day, ruler of wisdom, of healing, of death, of victory in battle, magic and writing, offering you his patronage, his gifts. Calling in Hermes, the Olympian, his counterpart, the Roman Mercury, carrier of the caduceus, herald of the gods, protector of travelers, messenger, shepherd, psychopomp, and son of the Pleiadians. Finally, Tahot Thoth, god of Mercury, of ancient Egypt, god of the moon, of reckoning, of learning, of writing, scribe and interpreter and advisor to the gods, the judge of the dead, who weighs each and every one of our hearts. He offers you his energetic support as they now all hold their hands to you, sending you what you need. And as they are doing so as well, now surrounding you in a sphere of liquid quicksilver, mercurial chemical compounding into a sacred geometric structure, not unlike the moon. A place of pure transcendence, of moving from limited conception into the limitless and infinite potential of our divine forces. In this quicksilver sphere, you are at center, enclosed in the energetic sphere container that, like a planet, holds all forms. Through this download, you are invited now to be an avatar of mercurial energy, like hero and heroine to these beings, a messenger of their alchemical vibration, becoming an incarnation of divine alchemical power on earth, becoming alighted, endowed, and infused with consecrated cosmic blessings, infused with ultimate creative force through the gods of all ends and all beginnings, all compounding in this sphere of quicksilver. As we receive any final messages here, so that we may welcome in our full manifestation. We breathe fully into our power, our ability to be the avatar, the incarnation, the infusion, letting it ignite this fire in our stomach chakra. And as the stomach chakra is reflected in the throat, if you feel called, you may put your hands to your throat or simply welcome in an awareness to the throat chakra. As we focus now on speaking an intention for the future, though you are muted, you may speak it out loud, whether it is to heal or to find the right job or to welcome more love into our lives. Let us now speak into existence that which we choose to manifest, activating, if we'd like, through our hands, Reiki or lightning energy, to herald our word as we speak our desire, repeating it if we need to, seeing in our mind's eye the vibration of the spoken, desired word, perhaps any symbols associated with it, any sigils. As we are calling into the present our desires today, we say to Enki, to Nabu, to Odin, to Hermes, to Tahot, abundance is with me, abundance is with you. And that, along with our intention, is our living prayer for our desires to become real. As the sphere of quicksilver turns and turns, we see and speak our future as if it were with us. And I will continue with this prayer. Abundance is with you. Abundance is with me. Abundance is with me. Abundance is with you. 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 We welcome now a final head to toe, full body download in silence, welcoming that desire and all of this alchemical energy to be created together, held strong, dreamed into existence in our future. Abundance is with me. Abundance is with you. 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 Abundance is with me. And abundance is with you. Abundance is with me. Abundance is with you. Now I will count to 6, where we can say goodbye to this temple, goodbye for now to the reality that we saw and created together, so that we may return to the 3-dimensional realm and the many dimensions beyond and in between, to allow for this intention to find new creative life. And I will count down. And when I say 0, we will be returned. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And welcoming you all back. The music can now stop. We'll just turn that off. Thank you. I'm going to stop the live stream. So thank you to those who may have been watching on Facebook. May you have a very pleasant evening. And I'm going to stop the recording as well.